Hey, how you doing out there? It's good to meet you, man.
What's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, good. Cool. Hold on for a second. I'm kind of walking around the house trying to get some peace and quiet.
No worries, man. Just waiting for everybody else to hop on too. So
All right. Yeah, I literally just got off the phone with a potential new client, and it's funny because I do a personal chef business, and at first it was all about my personal chef services, and at the end of it, it was like it's financially way too much for them.
yeah,
But then I was like, kind of dug a little deeper. I'm like, what was your interest in all of this? And it turned out it was about health, and fitness and all of that. And then I tapped into that. I'm like, well, let's talk about Beachbody.
that's it, right?
I got him on board and some interest there with possibly 21 Day Fix. So that's pretty cool, man. It's good to have that.
And it's always good when you actually dig deep and find out exactly what they're looking for, and then you can assess it.
Right. That happened to me earlier today too, and actually, Austin, I owe you some serious thank yous, man, because I went out and bought the Curious Mind
Good.
at the Barnes
Yes.
and Noble, and I was like, when I went to look for that, and I went to look for the War of Art, right? And
Uh-huh.
I had to order that book, but when I got Curious Mind, girl that I was talking to, she just opened up and started telling me about that she was a roller derby, whatever,
Yeah.
player, and all of this. And she was like, don't you teach at the gym? And I was like, yeah, I teach at the gym still and all of this. And she started talking about, her fitness and certain injuries. And I started going into the whole fitness thing, like, well, you could use some kind of cross training, this and that. I said, do you do home workouts? She's like, I don't, but I probably should. And I'm like, well, let's talk a little bit about,
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
Everything can be tied into it,
yeah. So
no matter how
I
you
have to
approach
connect-
it and kind of do the follow-ups and not be too
Yeah, man. So
pushy
I
off
got to
the bat.
connect with her. I'm going to
Yeah,
connect
it's
with her a
good.
little bit later and send her some info on Hammer and Chisel and 21 Day Fix and see how that goes,
Excellent, dude. Excellent.
Oh,
How's everybody doing tonight?
good.
How was the day?
Productive.
Good.
Yeah.
Got to catch up on a few things. So
Good. I'm doing some catch-up after we get off our call tonight, and then tomorrow's my big catch-up morning, so
yeah,
a lot of seeds to
dude, I think I'm falling
take care
behind
of.
on the Bearcat training already.
What's that?
The Bearcat training, I think I'm already behind on it, man.
Yeah, I'm behind in one video.
I just started today, so yeah, I'm catching up.
Yeah, it's really great. I mean, if you just follow along with everything he says, it's, just, he's like the simplicity master, Bob. Everything he says is just like, keep it super simple. And it just reminds you, that you're thinking too much. Just step back.
Yeah.
So I like that about him. So yeah, I got one video to watch tonight and watch that.
Awesome.
I think I'll catch up tomorrow too.
Yeah.
Anybody touch base with Adam? Is he coming on?
I haven't heard from Adam. I imagine he's usually running around with his either, taking care of his little kiddos or something by now.
He hasn't seen it yet, so
Yeah. Well, we can get started maybe, and then if he just jumps in, we can just catch him up real quick.
That's cool with me.
sounds good.
If you want to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if anybody wants to take the lead or.
Well, I guess some of the main things that we want to kind of go over is, what are we going to plan going forward? Basically what we want to do to attract more people, do what we're going to be doing. Obviously that Super Bowl Slim Down Challenge would be ideal to kind of start off the month, kind of get that off and running right away. So I don't know. I've got the next couple of days off. I can put together a couple of like pick monkeys with like a Super Bowl thing, Super Bowl Slim Down. I don't know. We could come up with a name if you guys want to throw some at me, and
And have that be the title of our
group challenge, right?
challenge group.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I think that's cool.
So
Because slim down. Yeah.
like honestly, with before us guys in it, basically a lot of guys we're going to attract more guys than we are women, right? Especially for a challenge.
Right.
I hit some girls, I hit some guys, but we can make it like oriented for the after Super Bowl challenge, especially for guys that are big into football.
I've got a lot of girls, and all the girls I know that they're into football just because their spouses are in football,
Right. So yeah, it will cross over to some, right? But
yeah,
I know, it's going to hit and miss with some people, right? So, if we focus on like that whole like really clean eats after, the Super Bowl, the 21-day fix, making that a goal, because if we started on the 8th like we plan, that'll end by the end of February too. So we're good to go for like a challenge group, right?
It'll be the last day or the second to last day of February. It'll be perfect.
Yeah. Well, it's a leap year, right? So it's the 29th.
Yep.
So 21 days, it should fall perfectly. So basically coming up with some cool ideas about invites for, the Super Bowl, enjoying Super Bowl, and then, the regrets afterwards. Like we can come up with some cool scripts that way so that we can all use. And then just invite as many people as possible, especially all your sports friends and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So really we want to get those pick monkeys together like the next couple of days so we can cap out the end of January and really to get those people that haven't ordered it to order in and get it in time.
Yeah.
Right. So are we looking at to get that going right away, obviously, so they get product by the first week of February?
So we're Tuesday now. So yeah, basically it's not going to count for our Challenge Cup month, but it's going to, progress into the month where people might hop on and start, we could have it after, get people in for after Valentine's Day, or starting for March, right? So, we can snowball, right? But we're going to be promoting right now. We just want to get invites because we know invites right now, a lot of people will say no anyway. So if we invite, 50 people, we might get 2 people, 3 people in, right? But those 47 people might be ready for March.
Yeah.
So,
and I think I agree with Javier is that I have to plan on a cap. I don't know how about you guys, or like, I know Javier, you're in Massachusetts, but I don't know about you, the shipping up there.
Yeah.
I have to plan probably to give the cap on it on like Friday, just so they'll ship it out and it'll get there in time for the
if we want people to start with their products on hand by February 8th, the stuff's got to be ordered by this Friday at the very latest,
Yeah, that's going to be my cap.
If we intend to have some kind of an overlap, like have 2 start dates in February, then I'm cool with that because I've done that myself. Like I'll start right at the beginning of the month and then have another one 2 weeks later. And so, I don't feel pressured into trying to squeeze everybody all at once. And then it just kind of goes, poof, And I think that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. And one thing I noticed, even with the 21-day fix, and I've had it happen multiple times, is, if somebody's back a week, it doesn't throw it off too much just because, the workouts are the same each week, right? So Monday's a Monday workout, Tuesday's a Tuesday workout. So starting a person a week behind, they're still doing that same workout almost. But yeah, it extends it a week, which is fine, right? You just keep that group going a bit.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that idea because you're right. I mean, it just repeats. So the people that can't get it in time or some latecomers, that's great.
What I have found in the past that's actually beneficial, and it's actually a pretty cool thing about doing the overlap, is that, say in 21-day fix, all right, 3 weeks worth, when people are starting their 3rd week and the newcomers start that same week, you start seeing like the coaching capabilities of some of those challengers, believe it or not. Like they start telling people, oh yeah, our first week was rough, and they start to coach them. And that's a good opportunity to expose future coaches. I mean, that's what I've seen. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I like what I'm seeing from this person. So
I like it. Yeah. Cool. Okay, great. So then we'll just have an extension week into the first week of March for the.
All right.
Yeah, that's great. I don't mind that at all. That's great.
So first line of business, I'll do the pick monkeys tomorrow then.
Okay.
If you guys want to throw me in the chat some ideas for names, like Super Bowl Slim Down is something that just popped out of my head. But
I like that. I think that's pretty pretty catchy. They're all,
like something with kickoff. You could do a couple of different things with football oriented, right? Something like
yeah,
weight loss kickoff.
goal, something with goals, or I don't know, end zones, or I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys are probably more into football than I am, but I could come up with a couple things if something rings in my head.
Yeah. So overnight, if something kind of comes off to your head, ideas kind of come at me anytime. So just throw them in the chat, and we'll kind of go with it, and I'll plan a couple of things there.
Sounds excellent. Good.
So then, next thing, I guess, that Fit Guys Kitchen. We kind of threw that in there. I love the idea.
I think it's great
because I think that's something that we can offer the challengers a little more. So like, having, some awesome recipes in there, being engaging in there. We'll invite some of the guys from, the Fit GC in there just to post as well. I think a community like that is really helpful to get people like motivated in a way, and a place to come just to find recipes and find helpful tips, right?
No, that's exactly my thought with that. My only concern was that I wanted to put it together really right, like have some model,
some plan of action,
recipes, plans, stuff like that, and then just kind of unroll it to the Fit GC. So I actually talked to Chris Deenan, one of the lead guys on the Fit GC. I just shot him a message. He was really nice. I don't know if I can share the little audio clips with you guys, but I can kind of describe them. But I just asked him pretty much, and like, me, you guys were interested in doing something like this. I just wanted to see how you guys got started, and what it was to either brand it or just kind of, there wasn't any really branding behind it. And he kind of just got back to me by saying, it was pretty much the first 10 guys that were in the club were part of the board. And the board just discussed, who plays which role. So it's kind of what I figured, but I just wanted to see if you had any other insight about it. And, pretty much he said, just try not to make it into a pissing contest. But I can't really see it being like that with a bunch of Beachbody kind of mentality.
Right.
So, I'm totally for that. I only thought that maybe we can just put a food aspect into the challenge group to keep it a little less confusing, and maybe just work on that towards the end of February or mid-February.
Yep.
Just so we're kind of staying on point with inviting and stuff like that. But I'm totally, I'm really into the idea. I just know myself that I get carried away, and that tends to take up a little more time than I want from the actual focus of what I need to do to build a little bit right now.
In terms of Fit Guys Kitchen, the actual group itself, you mentioned that you were thinking, which I agree with, kind of creating a system or a set model in which everybody that comes in kind of just follows with that.
Yeah.
In terms of like maybe segmenting things like, having a recipe development, having some videos, having some cooking tips kind of a thing, and stuff like that in the files section.
And exactly. And the files have some like really, we did a little clean eating group, Javier, before you jumped on, me and Derek and Adam, and that went really well. But what I found is, obviously we had a meal plan that we just grabbed from another coach, and it was a little, some of the recipes weren't really that squared, and the portions weren't really clear. So it's just like, kind of developing 2 or 3 really basic, simple, keeping in mind of like how guys shop, how guys want to cook.
Yeah.
Maybe not make it super elaborate or just simple stuff, but also, have an element of getting little tips and chef tips and stuff like that. So me and you could probably, do stuff like that. And so, have the file section, have some like 3 solid meal plans that guys or coaches can come in and just grab. And I guess that'll give us really great recognition through the coach community, through the Fit GC community.
Yeah.
And I think, just reiterating, I think that's something the guys struggle with, not the guys aren't involved with food or kitchens, they want to focus on the working out part of it. And when it comes time for the kitchen, it's a little,
Well, I think in a sense it can actually be very simplified for guys because we're not complicated. It's kind of like the conversation I was having earlier with somebody. I'm like, here I am, I'm a chef, but even when I did 21 Day Fix, the last thing I wanted to do was make recipes, make entrees, and make all sorts of dishes. I just wanted food for fuel, which is, season up whatever your proteins are, throw them in the oven, cook them off. At the end of the day, also all it's about is just having those proteins taste good.
Yeah.
You can measure it and put them on a plate or put them in a salad bowl or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
With your veg, I mean, why get all these fancy things going on? And for the most part, that seems to work with the guys' mindset. They're like, yeah, man, food for fuel. I don't care, right? Arr, arr. But ladies are the ones that are, well, I like recipes. I don't want to get bored. So it's like,
right. So we can kind of hit both grounds. I think between like what you said and my kind of passions with taking an idea and doctoring it up a little bit, more or less. It could be it could hit multiple mindsets. So
right.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to pursue that idea for this challenge group, but that was just my thought because I know that and to
it's definitely something that going forward we can really snowball people into. That's what.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And like Chris put it a good way too. He was just like, if you want to open up to other coaches, just make sure when you invite your prospects in, they're assigned to you, just like you would at the any other group or Fit GC or whatever that has. So then when you're having these conversations and these guys are in that kind of thing, and it's kind of like a sneak peek. It's like a sneak peek about the workouts and the meal plans and all the the planning ahead with the prep and stuff. So yeah, it could be a really great opportunity for us, and I'm super psyched about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then what else can we figure out? Like one thing I would say right off the bat is having like an awesome chili recipe. Obviously Body Beast or 21 Day Fix Extreme, they're both the same chilies. Having that for people to we could do a meal prep with that. We can do all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah. So are we doing a prep? We're not really doing a prep week because it's kicking off right on the 8th. I guess as we're inviting people in, we can have a little prep post kind of thing rolling in.
Pre-game party, right?
Yeah. So as we're inviting people in and kind of set that up, and then when people are coming in, just say kind of scroll around for stuff that we posted before.
Hype it up, right?
Exactly.
So we could have like, all kinds of like, ongoing recipes to, kind of prep yourself for getting ready, guacamole. You can do all kinds of fancy stuff.
Yeah, and this is going to be great because there's a ton of sites, and not just Beachbody, I'm sure, but stuff you can grab as far as like healthier, cleaner Super Bowl snacks and all that kind of stuff that we can use.
So,
do we want to talk about like roles and scheduling posts and stuff now, or is it a little too soon?
I think that might be too soon. But like having an open group is pretty cool. But we have to have like week 1 is structured a certain way. Week 2 structured like each week is structured a certain way, just like how the guides are, right? Because you want to have some crossover with cross product selling in their second or third week, that coaching opportunity in the third week, possibly, just ideas kind of in there, right? That we have to make sure that not everybody's posting the same thing, right?
Right. And that's what I mean. It's just like, we're going to follow the model more or less in the coach back office, like the daily posting thing, but obviously add our own kind of things in there in the mix. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, eventually when we get close to the kickoff date,
I don't know about you guys, but I get bored with those guides all the time, right? So I do that motivational in the morning, the workout post, a couple of food posts, and then how you feeling post kind of thing, or nutritional posts in there.
Yeah, I do. I think the only value I get out of it is, like you said, it just keeps you on the theme of at what point during the challenge you're introducing like a product like or Shakeology kind of mention, or something about the progression of the week 2 or whatever. So I think it's not like a copy and paste thing, but it's just more or less kind of
I think that
checking it out. And
in most cases, that kind of naturally happens because we're all using that product, right? So, we can, like, instead of just having a picture of us drinking our shake, tell about one of the ingredients in there and what it does. When we're having that Energize, why we like Energize instead. Why we're using, certain portions or whatever during the day, the macronutrients or whatever it has been. Just give a little more insight about that, so it's not just that picture, right? Or whatever. So
absolutely.
Make sure that, if we do see that, if I see you posting about Energize, I'm not going to post about Energize, or I'll just comment on yours. Got mine in too, ready to go. So we're not doing like too many like double posts about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Yeah, as we get closer, maybe we have to think about it now, obviously, and take up too much time. As we get closer, maybe we can just roughly sketch out an idea of the kind of posts we want to do. And then we can kind of discuss like what kind of times we're posting and what kind of time of the day kind of thing, just so we're not having a lot of crossover on each other's posts. It worked good for us the last time. I know this time we were dealing with 4. Is Whitney joining us?
In the group?
Yeah.
I'm sure she will be, yeah.
Okay. Does she have interest? I mean, I don't know if she have interest in the posting and leading the group too, or is she?
Yeah, she'll be more of the afternoon to later posts for the most part.
Great. So we can just determine the times between the 5 of us to kind of either, yeah. So I think that'd be great. One thing I wanted to ask about is, do you guys usually do like little like mini challenges, like prize things during your groups?
I have done one or two. And I'm for it for sure. I do have a couple of things I could, give as prizes.
What I was thinking, if I not interrupt you, I was just thinking if you wanted to do something like that. I mean, I've done them every time, and it's as simple as like 1 point for a picture, 2 points for a recipe, 3 points for a video, or something like that. We come up with our own parameters, and then whoever wins it, whoever the coach is for that person can determine the prize, or we can all agree on a prize, which is like super sampler pack or a performance sampler pack or a t-shirt or something.
Yeah.
And then whoever's assigned to the coach gets the prize for that person. It was an idea. I don't know if because I found that's really, really works well, because my whole idea, and especially with this group that I'm finishing up now, is that they're running the group. It's great. They're posting up all these pictures. They're interacting. We're like, oh my God, it looks great. How'd you do that? Look at that. And it's just awesome.
It definitely helps the engagement for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we want to do point system, I'm good with that too, for sure.
Yeah. Usually in the past, and I don't know how you guys have done it, but I kicked that off in like the second week. So the first week I would get everybody into the routine.
Right.
And then the second week, like that Sunday before the second week starts, just announce the little contest and say, we're running this for the week, for the rest of the time, and then certain cutoff date or something. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I like that idea.
Yeah, it's fun.
I would even announce it in the pregame week.
Pregame week?
I think so.
Okay.
So the full 21 days, they can earn, a certain amount of points. You got 21 days to,
rack them up
these points.
All right.
I think so.
Sounds good.
So that you get more engagement right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure. So, so you already have a point system that works pretty good?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I just kept it super simple. It was 1 point for a picture, 2 points for a recipe or a food picture, 2 points for a recipe, and then it was 3 points for a video.
Okay.
And they all have to be like motivational related, And I think I did a plus 1 point for the pictures of recipes that were container breakdowns.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of, so we can put that as kind of like the field kick or whatever, have it football related.
Yeah, definitely. or if you do all 3 in one day, you get a field goal.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
You could do
Or like the
anything.
bonus.
Like the options are open, so like we can definitely do anything like that, right?
Yeah, I've got two girls on my team right now that are super competitive. Like they're texting me, private messaging me. Did you get that point? Did you make sure that was 3 points and not 2, right? Because I'm like, okay, yeah, it's 3.
So since you came up with the idea, you can do you're the counter for the points.
Yeah, well, yeah. Since I lead the group, I have to count the points and update it. I have just a file that I update saying like time updated 11:30 11:30 a.m. and then the 3 different teams that are competing in it. I actually had, and maybe we consider this too. I had people pair up.
Yeah.
And I said you could either do it as a solo or you could do it as a pair and rack up power points. So I've got one girl that's going by herself and 3 other people that are pairing up to, combine their points.
Definitely something to think about for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, just think about it and we can hit it back. The details on our next little chat as we square up all the details.
Pre-game week is next week then, right? That's what we're talking about. So this group will be open next week to start popping people in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm open for anyone that wants to open the group. I mean, I can open it and then we can just add pictures or whatever. You want to do it that way?
Okay.
And then we can just start plugging people in on Monday.
Yeah. So just make us all administrators, and then we're good to go. And then I'll do the pictures, like I said. I'll do the cover page, and possibly.
Yeah. And that'll take 2 seconds. I can do that either tonight or tomorrow morning. I'll just open up the group, make you guys admins.
Cool.
And you can do the cover, post some pics, and do whatever. Throw a little description or something. And then Monday we can just start plopping people in there.
Sounds good.
In terms of the postings every day, I guess I just want to go back to that so I'm kind of clear in my head. We're going to assign each other which days to post. I mean, I know that I do that with another group where everybody who's a coach in that group takes a day to post. So you don't have to find yourself, okay, do I have to post something today? Am I in charge of the afternoon post? And it gets kind of mind-boggling as opposed to, okay, I'm the Friday guy, and just that's my responsibility. Or like currently, like right now, I'm the Saturday guy for this one group.
Does it work better that way?
Say that again?
Does it work better that way for you guys?
I tend to think it does. The only, caveat to that is when somebody kind of falls short on a day, like on a Friday. Like right now, Fridays are kind of the weak link day right now. So that becomes one of those days where it's like you have to kind of just monitor and make sure that a post has happened for the day as opposed to waiting around and counting on so-and-so.
Yeah, that could work too. I mean, the original idea I had is that, we just look at it's 21 days, 21 times, basically what we want to post, like maybe 3 or 4 times at least a day.
Yeah.
So look at each thing like a time slot and just say, okay, I'm doing 11 a.m. on this day, this day, this day. Adam's doing 2 p.m. on this day, this day, this day, and just filling up the slots. And so we all kind of have our own little schedule on that.
Yep.
But if we want to do,
have like a spreadsheet, because I know I'm a visual guy, so if I see a schedule, I'll follow it.
Yeah, I can easily slap together a spreadsheet with our names and just break down.
With just taking a full day each, I'm kind of just worried, your own challengers don't see you posting enough if you're only posting once or twice a week, right?
Okay.
I like the idea of like being active in a group. Like I want to be posting at least once a day, if not twice. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and then I think there's going to be those opportunities like the filler ones when we're just kind of on the flyer, like, no, here's a picture of my lunch, or here's this on the go, and that's totally cool too. But as far as like the planned out kind of post with the info and some like graphic, if you guys want me to do that, I can throw together a little grid.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That maps out the 21 days. Okay.
Because that way I can really kind of almost batch work something like that on a Sunday afternoon. And
do you guys all have what's the easiest way to do that, like Google Drive? Or
that's cool. I do Google Drive. So I was actually going to suggest that maybe that's something we could do even with the Fit Guys Kitchen.
Instead of a drive?
Yeah, like have a Google Drive so that we can all kind of add to, like, say, the recipe book or
like an archive.
or here's all the video links. Maybe open up a YouTube channel out there so people, so it's not just like all these posts.
Yeah.
In the files tab, which kind of drives me bonkers sometimes because you're sitting there scrolling looking for.
No, I totally agree. And YouTube's a good outlet for that too.
Okay.
And we can have like a little YouTube channel, Fit Dudes Kitchen. Is it Fit Guys or Fit Dudes? I'm kind of square on Fit Dudes.
Hey, it doesn't matter.
Which was it? Is it Fit Dudes?
It was Fit Dudes.
Is it Fit Dudes?
Fit Dudes Kitchen.
I keep putting Fit Guys. Shit.
That's okay.
Dude, that sounds a lot better, actually.
Fit Dudes Kitchen.
Okay.
We got 10 minutes here, my little thing told me.
Okay.
Oh, we did recorded this, right, for Adam and Whitney? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so wrapping up here, I guess, I'll throw the page up with you guys at admins.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll get together a spreadsheet so we can look over, and I guess we can just share the spreadsheet on the first thing we share on Drive.
Okay.
You guys want to put your emails all in the chat, and I'll share it with you on Drive.
Okay.
And then you can just plug in your names to the slots. I guess that's the easiest way to do it, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Sounds
And
good.
then you work on a couple PicMonkey graphics and share them, and then we'll start inviting.
Sounds
Like
good.
I said, I have probably about 13 people that are going to be in from my last group, and hopefully 4 or 5 newbies.
Perfect.
And I mean, even mix, I think a little more girls, but the girls I think are going to be totally into it because, like the girls watch Super Bowl too, or you can have some kind of like, yeah, I think it'll be appropriate for both parties.
Awesome. And yeah,
So in terms of the actual launch dates, if you will, the February 8th is definitely solid, right? We're doing that as a start date of the actual challenge. So
Yeah.
are we already going to have an intent to have that second challenge, like that whole overlay that we were talking about? Or should we plan that now? Like set a date right now so we kind of have an idea?
Well, maybe we can check in a couple days, or maybe by Friday or Saturday, see how many people we might have as an overlap.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
See if it's even necessary.
yeah, I would give it a week anyway. See how our invites go all this week.
Okay.
Close off this month, right? And then I know in the next couple of days we should be getting an email of what the challenge pack sales are for next month. And we can focus on, even if we want to do one February 15th as a next start date for one to go, that's an option, or the 22nd, right?
Yeah.
Like an after Valentine's, whatever kind of group, right?
Yeah,
Another couples group or something, right?
Yeah.
I like that. I do like that.
I'm part of like a Hammer and Chisel, and it's a lot of couples in there right now.
Uh-huh.
So, I could have, us, then that'll be done going on March, right? So
Yeah.
that almost might be an extension for them to keep going, right?
Wonder how that would go over. Don't buy your sweetie chocolates. Buy your 21-day fix.
Yeah.
What are you trying to tell me?
What?
Yeah. Chocolate covered Shakeology strawberries.
No. I can work on that recipe.
I think there's a couple out there, right? So
I'm sure there's got to be something out there, especially Valentine's Day coming around. They're going to be
Yeah.
all right.
so
Oh, man.
Cool. So I think we got what we need to do to get in line.
Is it too early? Is it too early to plan an actual date in which we want to roll out the Fit Dudes Kitchen group? Like, are we looking at
I think that's just out in the cloud right now that we're going to.
Yeah, I mean, we could. I think that's just out in the cloud for me right now.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't want to start it and half-ass it. I want to have
Well, that's what I mean.
especially with the guys on the Fit GC.
Yeah.
I think if we tell them, a couple of those guys, what we're doing, and we really have it set up, they can help us promote it too.
Right.
I think all those guys are pretty much, pretty solid dudes. That way they wouldn't mind kind of helping us out or kind of pushing along and kind of reposting it on stuff.
Yeah.
And that would be a good hit. So I don't know, maybe like towards the end of February and March. But
Okay.
yeah, I think the back burner for me anyway.
Okay.
And then another thing to promote too would be 22-minute hardcore, right? Coming out
That's
on the
March.
March 1st.
Yeah.
So
I might have a sneak peek on that with my guys that I'm doing challenge groups with.
yeah, so one thing I think we'll be getting a BOD preview soon, right?
Yeah, I think either Bob or Keith is going to get a copy from corporate or something to try out. So
If you do a workout, just something to tease with, right?
yeah, exactly.
So that's something that the focus for like the Team Cup, February 1st or March 1st, 2nd, 3rd, buying this challenge pack, right? So
Yeah, I think we should try to do this weekly if we can. I know it's hard to get everybody up, but at least we can record it for the people that can make it. It's just maybe next week we can talk more about focusing on Team Cup. Just different little strategies and ways people are inviting to kind of get sharing Shakeology and then tacking on like the upcoming fitness promos and stuff. So I know that's something I'll benefit from. But just working on finishing up. My mentality right now is just finishing up January.
I got to make a phone call.
The last week syndrome here. You're just like stressing yourself out and just kind of trying to think of every untied knot kind of thing.
Right.
Right on.
All right, dude.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
At least we got a good basis of what we're going to be doing and some ideas anyway.
Yeah.
I'll start the drive, and I think that's a great idea, Javier, and then we can just put notes in there too.
All right.
As we go through the chats.
Cool.
Awesome,
right.
guys.
Great chatting with you guys.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
Cheers.